Hey there, buyers and sellers. Let's dive into some real estate metrics for Clinton County, New York to help you understand what's going on in the market today. Switch over my screen here so we can take a look. First up, we have the month supply of inventory, which is at 3.38 months. This tells us how long it would take for all the current homes on the market to sell at the current pace that they're selling. With a lower number like 3.38, it indicates a seller's market where demand is high. And then next we have the 12-month change in month supply of inventory, which is down slightly at 2.03%. This shows us that inventory levels are decreasing compared to last year, which could lead to increased competition among buyers. And then when we look at the median days homes are on the market, we see it's only 23 days. This means that homes are selling relatively quickly. So if you're a seller, then that's good news for you. Then the list to sold price ratio is 96.2%, which indicates homes are typically selling very close to their list price. This could mean that sellers are pricing their homes accurately and buyers are willing to pay close to the asking price. I do think that number is down a little bit, the 96.2%. Lastly, the median sold price is $211,997. This gives you an idea of the average price of homes that are selling in the market. It's always good to keep an eye on this number to see how prices are trending. And overall, these metrics paint a picture of a competitive market with homes selling at close to their asking price. So let's look at a few more things to give you just a little bit more drill down and maybe a little bit more clarity, because what do the numbers mean when it comes down to it, whether you're a buyer or seller. What's the activity like? How long are properties on the market? What's the market look like? So I know how to react as a buyer or a seller. So as a buyer, if the market's moving fast, then I need to move fast. If it's slow, maybe I have more time. If there are a lot of listings and you're a seller, then you've got more competition. So maybe you can position yourself to come on the market when there's not as much competition, or maybe you have to do a few more things to get your home ready. So that's why I want to show this, the thing that I've got on the screen now. Right now, we're looking at sold listings, actual sold. So October had 62 sold properties, residential only, in Clinton County. All right. So what was last October look like? Well, we'll go from there. We had 62. Last October had 61. So pretty similar. What did the activity look like before that? What was the high point before our current October? That would be August, where we had 55. And the high point before last year's was June at 56. So that indicates that maybe the market is coming up a little bit. What's the low point? Okay, June of 2024, 37 new listings, 32 in February. And then last year it was 42 in July as a low point, which is really unusual. April 2023, and those numbers are more normal that you see down here, where it's lower in the winter and early spring and then picks up in the summer. But last year in 2023, we had a drop in July compared to a solid June at 56, dropped to 42 in July. That's the busy time, quote unquote. And then August, September, and October picked up, a little slowdown in the fall, not completely unusual. So then when you look at 2024, January, 38 new listings, February had 32, up in March, up in April, up in May, and then we saw another slump in what we would say would be the quote unquote busy time. Sometimes June is a little slower because, some people who are families maybe who are purchasing or have children, they're getting ready to wrap up the school year or whatever. But then we saw more come on in July, more come on in August, a little dip in September, and then up again in October, which is a good sign. So that's sold listings, okay? Let's come over to days on market. This is how long a property sits on the market before it goes under contract. So the lower numbers here means that there's more demand because they're not on the market as long. So in October, the median days on market was just 21 days, 3 weeks. So a listing comes on, in 3 weeks it's under contract. So we had low numbers there, even low here in July. So the summer was was moving pretty quick. Okay. As far as the days on market. So early spring had a little bit longer days on market. So homes are on the market a little longer than they are when more people are looking. And then in the wintertime, you're looking at between 40 and almost 70 days, 40 to 70 days before it's going under contract. And remember, in April of this year of 2024, 68 days, so a little over 2 months was the median, similar to the average, but the median, where 68 days on the market is what was most common. So something's on the market, a couple months. So, buyers will sometimes say, well, what's wrong with this property? It's still on the market. Well, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but it's just that maybe there aren't as many buyers that are looking at that time, or maybe they had a little bit of aspirational pricing and they need to, reevaluate that. And then, you'll see, let's see, last fall was moving pretty quick too, between 10 and 20 days on the market between May of 2023 and that November. Things were moving pretty quick. And then here it's a little more up and down, a little bouncy, but also where you see, between this range, it's between 25 and so between 20 and 25. So it's a little longer this year compared to last year. So that's more, a little bit of a cooling of them. Price trends are also interesting because some months you'll see, spikes a little bit more than you do other times. Sold medium price, you can see a little bit higher between April and October, which you would expect because more people are going to sell their homes that time of year. I always recommend sellers to, when you're ready, put it on the market. Oh, what about winter and stuff? Well, if you're going to have the driveway plowed and the walkway shoveled, why not? You'll have less competition. So that's what some of those numbers look like. Let me go back over here to the number of listings and change that, or that's actually sold. The active listings, take that up. So you'll see that we have 159 on the market in October, 157 the month before, August 162. But then look at the number of listings was actually lower earlier in the year from January up until July. So the summer kind of had a slow start compared to last year. When you look at the numbers for June, July, and August, were in the 130 to 150 range, whereas this year it's 130 to the 160. So a little bit more activity, a little bit more listings on the market. So I want to just give you an idea what that means. Like we talked about before, is knowing that the typical late spring and summer and early fall is the busier time. There are more listings, more activity going on. And if you're a buyer, that means that you're going to have more competition. You've got more other buyers looking, but there are also more houses. So that's good. But that doesn't mean you should rule out looking in the fall and winter, because there are still opportunities. Maybe people aren't paying as much attention as you are. It really depends on how aggressive do you need to be about looking for a home. And if you're a seller, it's always a good time to sell. Again, if your house is on in the common part, the spring through summer and early fall, there will be more properties for the buyers to take a look at. But if you're ready in the winter time, have at it. Let's get it on the market. Let's get it on the market so that your house has less competition. Maybe somebody will say, well, I wish I had more to look at, but I kind of like this house, even though we've only looked at maybe one or two. But let's go with it. Some buyers have to move. Some buyers have to move. Not all, but some. People who relocate often have to start their new job January 1st. I've had that happen with clients of mine. They're moving here. They're starting to look in November, December, because they got to start work in January. Or maybe they get here in January and they're doing a rental until they can find something. So just keep in mind that be aggressive in your approach to either buying or selling. regardless of what it is. It's a competitive market. You have to be competitive. If you find this information helpful, I just ask that you like and subscribe to the channel, like or comment on the post. Tell me what you like. If there's something different you'd like to see in some of these videos, more than happy to help you out. It's also important to stay informed and work with a knowledgeable real estate agent like me to navigate these conditions successfully. Now let's actually take a look at where the homes are that are for sale. So these are the homes in Clinton County that are currently on the market as an active listing. So you can kind of see, the closer you are to Plattsburgh here, the more dots there are, the more listings there are. And you can drill down and see, different neighborhoods that have listings available. Going towards Dannemora, they have it looks like 5 listings right in the village of Dannemora right now, and then another handful around the Saranac area. If you come down to the Peru area, you'll see there's a handful in the village, and then as you kind of go out from the village there, you'll see even more homes for sale. And if we go up to the northern tier, you can see the farther from Plattsburgh, the more spread out the dots are. It looks like there are some there in the Beekmantown School District area, a few right in the village of West Shazy, and then heading north towards the Canadian border, Shazy, just a handful. Looks like maybe 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 on the water, lakefront. And as you get up, here's the Canadian border, 87 north. This goes straight up to Montreal. I'll just zoom up to give you an idea. There's a Montreal area there, just north of us. So you see where our market is located. This is Lake Champlain. This divides New York and Vermont. And you can see that Champlain-Rouse's Point area also has a nice little cluster of homes, but what you'll see is they are spread out pretty well, as you kind of get out a little farther away. Now let me just bring this up, and let's see, we have 148 listings that are on the market right now in Clinton County. And just for reference purposes, let me just switch that over to Franklin County and show you what we have for Franklin County, New York. We have 155 listings for sale. There we are. You can just see there are a lot of lakes in Franklin County, and you see down here where you've got Tupper Lake, Saranac Lake, Lake Placid. Lake Placid actually Essex County, but Saranac Lake. As you go north, you'll see more, and then around the Malone area, kind of one of the bigger villages in Franklin County. And while we're at it, let's pull up Essex County and see what they've got to offer. Essex County. And Essex County has 211 listings. Wow, they have quite a few. And you'll see right in, like I said, Lake Placid, Wilmington, Jay, up in the mountains, right? And then over here, you'll see some of the lakefront communities. So it's a pretty good smattering of homes. 211 just in that area. What you'll find is a lot of the ones in Lake Placid might be a unit in a townhome. Yeah, some nice listings near Mirror Lake, East Lake, Lake Placid itself. So yeah, if I can help you with any of these, or if you'd like more information on a given area, a given price range even, that's something that I can do very easily. For example, if you wanted to, oops, that's not price. If you're looking for something, say in the, maybe like a move-up home example, so we could go 200,000 to maybe 275,000. Make sure I don't put too many zeros. And then, even narrow that down if you're looking for certain things in a given price range. Location, anything like that. How many beds, how many baths, like got to have a garage, something like that. You can narrow that down, and then as soon as a listing is published, we can send that right over to you. So those are one of the things you can do working with an agent like myself. If this is helpful content, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if I can help, and reach out if I can help you in either your home buying or home selling process. Thanks for tuning in.